Hey everybody, welcome to Black Hollywood Live. This is the after show for Atlanta. This week's episode, Nobody Beats the Biebs. Stay tuned.
There it is.
Don't look at that. Come on, y'all.
I got nothing for them, but they're enjoying themselves. We gonna wrap this up.
I guess this is music. I don't know.
Okay, I really hate the booth right now.
All right.
That was uncalled for, all in my ear. Okay, getting started here. I'm Joelle Monique. Let's introduce ourselves. You can find me everywhere at Joelle Monique, and this is my lovely panel.
Yo, what's up? I'm DeAnJilo. Follow me at DeAnJilo TV. Follow me at DeAnJilo on Instagram. We got to the left.
What up, everybody? Jeff Graham here. Thanks for tuning in this week. If you guys want to catch me on Twitter, you can do that at Jeffrey C. Graham. It's my handle.
And I'm sorry, I'm just like into the Bieber, but my name is Rhelin Taylor, and you can find me on Twitter at Ray Taylor Gang. Look below and follow me.
Yeah, so thank you guys for joining us today. This was kind of a really fun.
This is what happens.
Turning Justin Bieber up on us.
Guys, is it too late now to say sorry?
It's far too late.
I think it's too late, Steven.
The whole is over
Damn it, it's been
forever.
done.
Rude.
We're split. We got the anti-Justin Bieber side over here. We got the, I guess,
pro-Biebs.
Civil War.
believers.
Believers.
Whatever. Anyway,
Moving
moving
forward,
on.
so this episode of Atlanta was probably the most comedic we were saying before we
Oh,
started.
yeah.
And I was just wondering, what are your overall opinions of this episode? This is our 4th episode? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so many layers, I feel like, to this episode. There were so many different things that we can discuss. I can't wait to get into everything. But yeah, the character of Justin Bieber itself was hilarious.
So much to unpack. in
I
that.
know.
Yeah, I feel like I want to just acknowledge, without getting into any of the specifics, but
Yeah.
they named a character Justin Bieber, based a character on Justin Bieber, and he was black. Like, that was
Perfect.
just...
Yeah.
I can't
Perfect.
wait to talk about that decision.
Yeah.
I loved the character of this agent. Yeah, just... Probably
That's a lot.
my favorite episode of the season so far for me, I think.
Which says a lot, because
It says
there's
a
been a
lot.
lot of good
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah, I think I love comedy, so I loved how funny
Yeah.
this episode was.
They've set a standard now from an integrity standpoint. Like, I expect to think about something after the show, but also be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it again, and I think, that's great for a show to have that expectation.
Absolutely. I think for those of us working in the industry, it's a particularly fun episode because
Yeah.
everyone knows a Janice. And the whole time I was like, oh girl, poor thing. And then also, white ladies will get you in places. And I'm really excited to explore that thought
Yeah.
because
Oh my
I
gosh.
keep white girls on lock and go places. It's fun. Okay, so let's just dive right in. We start off, we're at a celebrity basketball tournament helping some organization in Atlanta. And it... I think it's kind of funny because Paperboy doesn't necessarily strike me as someone famous enough yet to get into these things, but also, especially with such like a wide range from like
Yeah.
Justin Bieber, if we're taking this as it's a real world Justin Bieber,
yeah.
that's like A+ like celebrity status.
This was low class celebrity. I mean, we had,
Yeah.
and I mean, no offense, we had Lloyd, who's like past his prime.
Don't
had-
ever
Come
try
on
to play
now.
Lloyd like
We had
that.
Lloyd,
It's so
and
rude.
Lloyd was probably second tier, and then like behind Justin Bieber, and then we had the dude from Family Matters.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all
I
didn't
saw
see
that.
him. The older, y'all didn't see. That's how you know he's not relevant. Y'all didn't recognize him. We had older Urkel there.
I thought it was older, but
And
I
he was
couldn't
the next
tell
tier of,
if
like,
it actually
popularity.
was him or just someone who looked like
No,
him.
it
But
was
if we-
Jaleel White. I know for a
if
fact
we
it was
both
him.
saw it, yeah, that was hilarious.
So that says everything. That's the level of celebrity.
Lloyd
event
is
this
making a
was.
comeback. There's a single called True. Okay. Is
that true?
Yes,
She's on
it's
top
true
of it.
because I like Lloyd.
I'm a big Lloyd fan, but like he did only have 5 lines. How many lines did Migos have?
That's true.
So we on 2 different.
It's okay, Lloyd.
He
I
probably
still love you. I
Lloyd
got
probably
you.
called them to get on there.
What?
Shout out to Lloyd if you want to come visit on the show. Much love, you know what I
I
mean?
got you, Lloyd. I got your back.
Can I be
Oh my god. So as we move in, we see Paperboy trying to hit on this journalist, TV personality.
Valencia Joyner.
Yeah, which is the flirting scene was so funny to me because it was like it's the most polite I feel like Paperboy could be talking to a woman, and she's just so completely disinterested. And then her final stinger line of like, "My audience really isn't into rappers, and neither am I," and I was like, "Get it, girl." I was really like, it seems cold, but at the same time, like you gotta shut that down. Especially, you can't be flirting with. Look, here's my thing. As a professional woman, you can't be flirting with me and trying to get my business at the same time. You're already blurring lines.
See,
you gotta pick a side of the road.
That's so interesting because I kind of thought she came across as kind of cold. Like I thought.
Yeah, she did. Because again, if you come at me from
Right.
these two perspectives of I want your business, I want you to promote me, and also maybe I'd like to have sex with you. No.
Yeah, see, I
a side.
love how this panel has so many perspectives because I read that scene as like she was kind of hating on, like I kind of took his side there, which is really interesting. So it's interesting and cool for me to hear that you kind of read the scene that way.
I think that let's not get it twisted. Like, yeah, she wasn't given the time of day. Like,
Right.
You're not great looking, which I'm sure she gets hit on a lot. She's a TV personality. She looks great. Like, I'm sure she's getting like A+ level of guys. And also, she did a quick flip for Biebs, but it's Biebs. He's got something to offer her.
Yeah.
I think and it's not. Desperation is ugly, as Ava DuVernay tells us. You got to take off that coat of desperation. Live through Ava DuVernay. And desperate's not a good look. And he was real hard pressed to like try to either get on the show or get a date with her or something. And none of that looked good. So I didn't blame her for her actions. It was cold, but I think she needed to be.
What are your thoughts, D?
I'm somewhere in the middle. I mean, you got to pick up on the nonverbals with a female. All right. Lesson 1. She was not feeling it. He was persistent. You know, try one more time. She's not feeling it. It's probably cool to call it that. That's the L.
If you can't
That's
get
the
her
L
to
for the
put down
day.
the cell
You know what I mean?
phone,
Yeah, she wasn't feeling the jokes. If they not laughing, then hey, next time.
move forward.
Yeah, move forward.
Yeah, but sometimes, guys, you guys don't know. Like, you take a hint. It's like, I'm like, what, you haven't texted back. Like,
There's
I
a
know
reason.
I haven't.
Reasons.
I guess you've done that before. That sounded
All right, heartbreaker.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
But Brian Tyree Henry's performance here was so funny. He's such a funny actor.
Yes.
And a very multidimensional
It's kind of the sweetest, most vulnerable I think we've maybe seen him so far. Like, he's always kind of got these, but to see him approach someone that he was, like, genuinely interested in and be like, oh, hey. And, he started off like, oh, you're going to want to interview me because I'm going to be MVP. And he's like, I said I'm going to be good in this game. I was like, we don't really get to see that vulnerability from him a lot. And it was really sweet. Like,
I like that
him.
line.
It was cute.
He was like, you got me. I'm a rapper. Like, bro, come on, bro. Like, he tried to put all the cards out.
Oh, man. Desperate. I also thought another line was interesting. Just because you dress like a sixth grader doesn't make you my manager. Is he or isn't he? Like, at this point, y'all been rolling for a while. I assume at least a couple of weeks where he's helping you. Like, he's listening to your music. He's trying to give you input. You guys are working on songs together. Like, he got your tape out there. Like,
I am starting to sense the fracture of Paperboy and Earn. And I think we talked about, is Earn his manager? Does Earn want to rap? What is Earn doing? Like, that was our discussion last episode, is like, he still seems like the character who's the least directional right now.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to wonder, this is getting into predictions, so we'll save it. But I'm sensing that there's going to be a fracture between those two. And I think a question like, just because you dress up like a sixth grader doesn't make you my manager shows that they're not necessarily on the same team.
yes.
Or I think maybe he just has to prove himself still, because I mean,
I'm with you
because he didn't really trust him from the beginning. So it's like, you have to really prove yourself to me. I feel like until he's on the cover of a magazine, then maybe he'll be like, okay.
He's
'Cause
stating his case.
Yeah.
For sure. He's kind of like earning his stripes. it seems
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like he has to pay his dues in order to win him over.
Yeah, totally. And there are also cousins who've worked lived and grew up together. So ball busting comes easier.
Yeah,
Just to
for
be
sure.
like, don't get full of yourself, dude. Just slow down.
Yeah.
But I also think, Earn is there consistently.
Right.
And he gets living for a few weeks, and we know he, at least at one point, had a tendency to bail. So maybe that could come up again. I don't know. I feel like, make a decision, but also I get it. So let's just go through with Paperboy's storyline, because it's great, and I know we want to get into Bieber. So then Biebs walks in, and he's everybody's jumping on him, and Paperboy's ego takes a slight hit because we see the journalist kind of flip. And then we see him doing really outrageous, silly stuff like peeing on the floor. And as we I think we talked about before the break, Usher kind of picked Justin Bieber off of YouTube. Usher's big in Atlanta, so I figure maybe that's why they wrote him in. I'm wondering if they thought at one point they might get the real Bieber And then when they didn't, they were just like, we're just
No
gonna
way.
cast somebody.
No way. This was on purpose. He's
I think it's
black.
on purpose. He's black.
How Justin Bieber's story would be perceived if he was African American.
But to me, they
agree.
don't get into that story.
At all, which I love that.
This is, and again,
That's why it lets
to me-
you, it lets you
Don't
put
tell you
that.
how to feel.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you how to feel. It's
Yeah.
just like it's
it's such an
fair.
Atlanta move.
It's not even, I don't even think about telling you how to feel. I just feel like, for example, Biebs done some crazy, crazy stuff. Like the drag racing and then running away from police and things like that. Like, all that stuff would have a completely different effect if he were black.
Right.
that was the
I mean,
point.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That was the point.
But we
Yeah.
don't get into any of that.
Well,
He does the same stuff, and like he's peeing on the floor, and they kind of go covered
Well,
up.
think about it.
He serves the same apology that Justin Bieber has served.
Interesting.
They have 30 minutes to establish their goal is 30 minutes to establish his entire career in this one basketball game. So like we're bringing him in, and when Justin Bieber first came out, he was kind of like this hot shot, like kind of like trying to be a bad boy. What did he do? He slid his hands on the table, kind of drawing attention to himself. Okay, next scene we see him, he's peeing. Again, this is kind of reiterating the same theme. He's on the basketball court and drawing attention to himself. This is all like pre-Justin Bieber before he got in trouble, quote unquote. He gets in a fight. That's when people didn't like Justin Bieber as a person, and then he apologizes and performs a song. Like that's his entire career, and in those 30 minutes, and like it's really showing us. It's literally this is what he did in his career, but now the only difference is he's black. How does your perception change at all?
So you
That's the
think
way I
it
took
was trying to get the audience perception to think about it more? Because like, to
Yeah.
me,
I
they
feel like,
didn't
yeah,
change
I'm on
anything.
spot.
I
Too.
actually hear what Joelle's saying though, because like everything was identical aside from the color of his skin. So are they making like what is the point?
I think
I think you touched on it. I think that if he was black, would we look at him different? I mean, honestly, like if we look at Chris Brown, and okay, I'm gonna minus the fact that he didn't beat Rihanna, because I feel like I don't know, like that is like damn, that's an L for real. But if he didn't do that, and he's still acting, he still sometimes acts wild. Like nobody be really like jumping to go get that X album or that Royalty album that quick. But we're running to like I said, like I was listening to that Purpose album when Justin Bieber dropped it, and he does act crazy, and I was still like bumping Justin Bieber. But then again, but then other people can like argue that maybe the music's different.
And there's also the thing too where like you could argue that Justin Bieber built his whole career kind of appropriating hip hop. Like he
true.
kind of was borrowing maybe unfairly. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But also, but again, we have to go back to the whole Usher thing. And he was handpicked by somebody from Atlanta
Yeah.
to rise to prominence. And I'm wondering if is that the thing? Like, the
honestly-
same talent resides in both communities, and we could have Usher could have found someone within that community. Like, I'm not sure if I'm missing the commentary. And it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if there is no necessarily larger commentary other than like. Just,
What if?
Right. Like more maybe a millennial like pop star kind of look on it. It's
My
just
whole
like,
thing was I honestly thought that maybe like there's another commentary, like for example, once you reach over into that pop world, you're like kind of like okay,
Invincible.
you're kind like honestly like I hope. Okay, let's put this into perspective. Like, okay, Drake versus Meek Mill, and please don't Dream Chasers, don't be trying to come after me after the show trying to fight.
what you about to say?
But honestly, okay, like if we look at that, like Drake is kind of like, because he does like Hotline Bling and because he's on those pop charts, like he's way more like, on a different level to where like if he's screwed up, like it'll be kind of okay, he'll still be like okay. But Meek Mill, nobody's really rushing, like, the white kids ain't rushing to go put that on 102.7 Kiss FM. So it's like, you know what I mean? He kind of has like the upper hand, and I feel like once you reach into that realm, it's kind of like, okay, it's okay. Like, you mess up, it's kind of fine. You get a little bit of a slap on the wrist.
I really feel like Atlanta just presents things to have these conversations.
Yeah.
no doubt.
Like they're again, like we said before, like they're not making commentary on it.
Right.
They're just getting you to have
Yeah.
a conversation,
Yeah.
which is vastly interesting.
Curse you, Atlanta.
And I'm with her on that point. Well, I'm kind of in her, like, I get where she's going, Rhelin, in that, like, the line where the lady said, we don't want, at the end of the movie, but I think it was the last scene of the show, where she was like, we don't want you to, what was the line? We don't want Justin Bieber to be the bad guy. You're the rapper, play your role.
That's
like,
your job.
That's
Yeah,
your job.
that's your job.
So like I can see that like as a pop star, there's just like a different expectation, and then as a rapper, which is where Paperboy is, he hasn't established himself as a celebrity outside of I'm a rapper, and like just that the double like the expectations is a little different. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
you're
which I
setting a
think is
different
kind
precedent.
of just crazy, and maybe that one line is the reason they made Justin Bieber black in this, is so that it wasn't a race thing, but more about like as you were saying, the pop versus rap dynamic.
Yeah.
But I find that so interesting because I never expect my rappers to be jerks. Like, I expect them to be hard. I expect them to be creative with their flow. But like, I like De La Soul and Childish Gambino. So the idea of your rappers having to be assholes is so foreign to me, but I guess I don't reside outside of the community.
And I feel like Childish Gambino would know this because, like, he's a rapper, but he writes for, like, 30 Rock? Like, think of a rapper who's, like, a hood rapper that be writing for 30 Rock. Probably not.
I kind of have a feeling that, like, they might have just been in the room and they're discussing this.
Yeah.
Like, well, what if we made him black? And then, like, that was it. Like,
I can see that.
Honestly, like, it's funny. And, like, I think on a comedy show, stand-ups talk about all the time, I don't want to have to explain my comedy. I want to just say a joke. And, like, maybe they just thought it'd be really funny to make Justin Bieber black in this. And then leave it at that. And, like, let us...
Writers room, feel free to hit us up and let us know.
Yeah, writers, please.
I'm curious.
Or come on the show, that too.
Do all the things.
Yeah.
Seats waiting for you.
A couple more things about the Paperboy storyline. The fact that Justin Bieber was wearing the number 23, which is of course Michael Jordan's number. And who's number
LeBron
3?
too.
No. Who's number 3?
Who's number 3?
Is that Dwayne Wade?
These are the sports people.
I know, that's
like.
embarrassing that I can't even.
I cannot. I know
D-Wade is a big number 3, or was.
Yeah,
number 3
I know that there's somebody else where it's the number 3 that's really popular. So I thought it was hilarious that.
No, he don't wear.
I know. I was gonna say that, but don't ask me.
So I thought it was hilarious that Jordan.
That could have just been a random number. Though,
No, I don't. I think the numbers were really purposeful, and that's why I was mad that I don't know who number 3 is.
Paperboy had number 1 on, right? Because that's Tracy McGrady.
Paperboy had number 3.
Oh, he had
Justin Bieber had number 23.
Gotcha.
So I thought it was funny. And then, okay, so that's pretty much it. Paperboy freaks out on the court, which is great, and just starts mollywopping Justin Bieber, which I kind of wish it had been the actual Bieber just for that scene, because I think it would have been hilarious. But shout out to the kid who played Justin Bieber, because you did a wonderful job.
Over the top, perfectly.
And it was great.
And the consistency of amazing co-stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still killing it.
Well, I think also it's interesting that in the grand scheme of things, outside of us, no one in that setting really cared that Paperboy got in a fight with him. Like, no one. Like, and that was kind of like one established what his role is, what his celebrity is right now in Atlanta is not really, it's not much. But it's just kind of like funny. It's like no one cared about what he had to say in the press conference. It was like kind of like, I don't know, that was humbling. I don't know, I would have been humbled if I was him.
I'm sure he left humbled. It seems like they both left kind of humbled.
So that was another interesting dynamic to that situation.
Okay, so let's get to Ern, aka Alonzo's story, which was hilarious for a number of reasons. But Ern's kind of walking around feeling out the room when this woman, Janice, comes up and is like, Alonzo, turn around, it's me. And he's like, who? And guys, if you ever find yourself in a similar situation, just let that person take you anywhere.
Yes.
That person has clout. Even if it's a little bit, she's clearly not at the top of her game right now. But she got him into a room, which is important. That's the hardest
Janice
thing.
is the plug tonight.
Right? Totally.
She was the plug. She got him into network. And we finally get to see him network. Some of that passion that you guys were looking for last week.
It was okay, hold on. I'm gonna get ahead of myself. I want to take it one moment at a time. So first of all, casual racism.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it? The fact that she just has no clue that this is not, especially knowing now that she thought that this was the guy that screwed her. Like, you don't remember that face?
How LA was that?
It was the most LA
super
moment.
LA. Gonna smile in my face, gonna get me in a room, and then you're gonna let it in on me afterwards. After all that, like smiling, and that was super LA. I love Los Angeles though. You guys are cool.
Oh yeah, what's that supposed to mean? I low-key should have took like a job at that, but I have to admit, like I feel like LA is kind of like
that's pretty
shady.
fake.
Well, LA is all business. Like, there's just not, like, personal connections aren't truly a thing out here. Like, the first, if you go to any party, the first question out of people's mouths who don't know you is, what do you do?
Right.
Because it's all about business connections. So it's hard to have the kind of, like I'm from Chicago, and, you know, there it's so much less about what you do and so much more about who you are. The things you do after work more define you than your actual job. So we get a nice touch of offensive casual racism, but she does get him in the room, and I have to say that badge scene, as a person who's gone to a lot of conventions and things, like, I had a friend take a fake badge into Comic-Con. Like, just to walk in. Of course, she's white. So then she's like, you try it tomorrow. And I'm like, that's a joke. She's like, try it. Of course, it didn't work. It's not going to work. This happens frequently. I've had, like... This is why you just always travel with a pack of white girls. They will get you in. No one's going to question them. They get irate, and people don't get scared or frustrated.
What?
They just move
This
aside.
is so the white girls are the plug. White girls, if you guys
Seriously.
need a black girlfriend, I am right here. You can just tweet me, and we can go places.
We will be honest when your other friends are not. We're here to help.
This is
We help
very
each other,
true.
They
okay?
get you in a party. I went to Pepperdine.
What?
Exactly. You know. That
Okay,
you know.
I need to go.
I second that.
Okay.
I'm right there with you.
Seriously, white friends will get you in everywhere. White girls,
White
because they're just so non-threatening.
Jeff is like here, just like a bystander.
Oh no, you guys are right.
There we go.
yeah?
I was wanted you to chime in a little
I guess when I go to the bar now, because they're super nice too. Like when you're in the bathroom at a
yeah.
bar. So when I go to the bar and they start saying like, "Oh my God, you're so pretty," I'm gonna be like, "So are you? My name is Rhelin. Let's go hang out, party." And now I got a new plug.
Just be like, where are you going next? And follow them in. This also
Follow
works.
them
It
in.
does. No, and it also works if business-wise. If you're really smart, like, if they're doing like, okay, especially now, and talking to our black audience, hello.
Hi.
When you guys want to advance in your careers, it's so great
Oh,
to
my
have black
goodness.
people helping black people. I'm serious, but if you give yourself an older white woman, give yourself an older white woman, she's gonna get you where you need to be. Then find the older black lady there and latch on her because she will take you further.
So
There
drop
we
the
go.
white.
Bring it home. Bring it home. I was waiting for you to bring
Yeah.
it full
No,
circle. for
Get
it.
in with a white person, but
Okay.
then latch onto a black person,
I
and
hope
they
y'all
will
taking
cruise you
notes at
through.
home.
I think
Yeah.
Oprah. I think
No,
Oprah
right
won.
now.
Like if we look, I think you're right because Oprah won.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Take notes. Take notes.
It's true. So he gets in there, and as you were saying, like, he pulls out one of my favorite lines, which is like, I ran out of business cards. I've been working so hard today that I just have no more. But I'm gonna reach out to you. More tips. It's just more important to get their business card than for them to have yours.
That's a
He worked
line.
it. He did it. That was smart.
It's the line I use
am going to start
frequently.
doing that because
Yeah.
sometimes I forget.
Yeah, no,
So I'm
no
just
one needs
gonna-
to know that you forgot or that you don't have them or any of that.
wow.
Just
That's
I ran
smart.
out.
I'm
That's-
taking notes.
yeah, right,
I'm taking
I'm taking
notes.
notes.
All
I was
right. What
like,
else you
wait,
got
what?
for us? What else do we need to know?
This, all of this,
Okay.
like, in the room scene, like, I have been, like, from Toronto to South by, like, I've been living that life, and I was like, I get this. It's the first time I really, like, personally connected with the
I know.
show, where there's, like, a lot of stuff happening where I'm like, yeah, okay, I see it, or I've heard about it.
Well, and
this I was
even-
like, this is my life.
Even like the tone of like it's so nice to meet you, like the fake
gosh, yeah.
conversation. Everything about the show is just so. You feel like you're watching a documentary a little bit. I mean, like this scene especially was just so. It nailed industry networking.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was perfect.
And I'm curious to see if the people that he did make contact with, that he had pleasant interactions with,
Are really gonna
where that
follow
picks
through?
up. Well, it'll be on him to follow through because he has their business card. They don't. And then also what they want him for, because a lot of times what they're like, oh, you're young and black. That's really great. We need that kind of diversity on our stuff. But then, if you have opinions and things, you should keep those to yourself. We need your skin and nothing else. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Here's a question I have.
now.
Do you guys think he was promoting? Do you think he was interested in the idea of getting Paperboy going or starting his own?
No, Paperboy. This all Paperboy, right?
I think it goes hand in hand. Because to me, like, as a manager, when you promote your client, you promote yourself.
Right, but I'm
I don't know
talking.
if they can be separated.
I still wonder if like Earn wants to rap, because like
I feel
Child
like
has got to be a good parent there.
I don't know. Like I don't
see that.
You don't see that.
I think he
that's fair
sees.
because we don't know that much about. I don't know what Earn wants.
It
To
seems
this
like-
day, I don't know what
It
he
seems like
wants.
Paperboy is his out. You know what I mean? When whatever was the first couple episodes, whatever was going down, the first thing he did was go to Paperboy and say, "Can I be your manager?" Like, why is that his out?
And I kind of what is the like whole thing of him always listening to headphones though? Like when they open it up. So ooh,
He's always
now I'm
listening.
like,
He's planning. But to me, the only thing I know for sure about Earn so far is that he wants to be successful.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he needs
And it
money.
seems like what route that takes, it kind of like he's going based on pure instinct right now. Like, oh, you're on the come up. I could help you because I have some skills. Let's see what happens. But he is passionate about music. Like, that's very clear. But whether he wants to rap or not, I mean, it'd be cool because, it's Gambino. But if not, I could also see that. Like, I'm just not sure, even if he knows what he wants out of life. I think
Yeah.
he's just acting on pure instinct right now. Doesn't seem to really have a plan, which I'm comfortable with. That is your mid-20s for you.
Right.
I'm just making it work. So he has this really great interaction. Then, of course, we get to the bar. This is also a great scene. How much is a beer? No, it's open bar. Well, top shelf it, which, of course, again, always take advantage of that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You only get so many, like, open bars in your life.
And he tipped.
He's a baller, which made me laugh so hard. I was like, this is perfect. He's just grateful for this great drink. He's like, give you a little bit more.
That would have been me too.
Of course. Well, and also it shows, like, he's not far from that. Like, he's just selling phones at the airport. Like, I think credit cards at the airport. So he knows the struggle and the hustle. So, working class people help working class people. Yeah, and then Janice kind of freaks out on him.
This was intense.
This was weird for a number of reasons. How did this hit you guys?
I loved it. To me, this was like the stakesiest scene we've seen. Well, that's not true, because the very first scene of the show was a murder. But, like, so there's that.
Fair enough.
But, like, this was, like, to me, this episode, I love how TV now is allowed to, like, balance tone. Mm-hmm. And, like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, this is a comedy, or this is a drama. And, like, this scene was, like, really intense. And I just was on the edge of my seat this whole episode, and the performance was amazing. You talk about subtle racism. Yeah, there was just like so much going on.
Sharecropper smile.
Ooh.
That
It was not subtle.
hurt my soul a little bit. I was like,
Up front.
I laughed because I couldn't believe. I was like, wait, what?
She slid it in there too. Like that was nice.
That's like an ugly, like that's not like a casual racial slur.
No.
That's like I had to like dig and find like a weird 19th century.
I was like, wait, 19th.
like I was like, that is whoa.
That is textbook.
and what's
Yeah.
crazy, what hit me
That's-
about that was like the words are clean, and so I bet she felt they were less racist.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
she didn't call him the N-word. She didn't call him like. I mean, a slave would have been awkward. Like a slave
Right.
smile would have been awkward phrasing there, but just sharecropper is one of those words where it doesn't feel instantly racist. It's one of those ones where you're like,
It feels instantly racist to me.
like it's in the sense that it's probably like way worse.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Yeah.
so specific and gross.
But that was the real her.
that's what I'm
She was
saying,
angry,
like-
so all of it came out. No
Totally.
filter. No filter.
I hear what you're saying.
I'm talking about when you get hit with blatant racism versus when you get hit with covert blatant racism. Like when people think they're being crafty and you have to be like, what did you just say to me?
Yeah,
Like, I
like,
don't even.
whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then after he's like, I'm not Alonzo. I'll make sure you die homeless. And she said, you. So are you after me personally now because you mistook who I was?
I think she still thinks he's
Oh
Alonzo.
yeah, no
No,
doubt.
she still thinks he's allowed
She
to.
hung with him for
Okay.
how long? The whole day, looking
Yeah.
at him, talking at him. She still thinking it was him. So she was stuck. She was
Is this
stuck in it.
another
She-
like
stuck.
commentary that all black people look alike?
Yeah, I think
Or
so.
that
To other-
all
Oh,
white-
no,
that
that's
white people
definitely
think all
that.
black people look
Yeah,
alike.
That's definitely
Yeah.
the vibe I was picking up. Well, and then the fact, like, just not listening.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he tried real hard up front, to be honest. But he was like, and she just kept talking over
Yeah.
him to the point where she was like, no, I know what the situation is. We're going to do what I'm going to do. In the same way that she didn't even consider whether he had a badge or not at the door. You know, she was
Yeah.
just like, we're not wearing those ugly things. Come inside.
Plug.
Yeah.
real.
Janice can roast in hell.
Yeah.
But I know her. Hey, she can. I don't have any bad feelings for her.
Best performance though, I'd say. Best
Oh my God.
performance.
Oh, no,
Everyone
yeah.
in
It's
that
a solid
show,
performance.
she showed all the range.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to her.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we did forget about one Bieber moment? The apology at the end. When he slips on the real hat with the bird as an A, I don't even know what is happening
No,
in
it's
this
because
moment.
I'm a believer a little bit.
Please help me out here. Educate me.
Bieber has like a bird, I think, on this Purpose album, and that's why they made the album so close to the like the connotation is like the same as like Purpose, because it's called like, I forgot what the album was called, but yeah, it like
Justice.
yeah, Justice, and like
Mm-hmm.
Bieber's is called Purpose, and there's like a bird or dove I think on it too, so they're trying to be
Okay.
really close to
Alright.
like Clout and
Copy.
Bieber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I could have lived without that detail. No,
I'm glad that I understand now.
we need our
And then maybe go
believers.
listen to the album, because I'm telling you, it's actually a really good one.
Look, I know the kid is a musical genius. I just don't care. But I did like the song and the lyrics. Whatever I do, girl, just forget about it. And we did Childish Gambino singing,
Hey.
which, hey, very cool, very cool. We've got one more storyline to get to, which was personally my favorite storyline.
It's the grit that we always get. And at first I was like, oh, this is just going to be comedy. And then I was like, oh, it's serious.
And see, I wasn't even sure he was going to show up in the show. I was like, oh, is this just going to be like an Earn and Paperboy show? And then to see him sitting in his room, just chilling,
Shout out to Darius.
Which
He
is
the
great.
homie.
Yes, it's great to kind of see what Darius does in his downtime, like when there's no one else around, when he's just being Darius.
Yeah.
And Darius wants to go shoot a gun today. That's what he wants. So he gets to the range. He turns in his. Sorry, guys, the storyline really gets me. I just really liked it.
You were cracking up,
It
too.
was so great.
funny.
There was really
Funny.
not a moment of this, like, just from him sitting in complete silence to just throwing that, like, poster tube over his shoulder, like he was on, like, a legitimate mission.
It's like, this is what he was going to do today.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I was looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, maybe for months.
He probably ordered that on Amazon.
That's what I was
had
gonna
to
say,
wait
yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
He was real excited. So he gets there, he's passing all the people, and guns make me very uncomfortable. I did not grow up in a gun-wielding household. I don't think
me
anyone should have
too.
their guns taken away, but I also don't want them around me. So I can't imagine walking into, like, a firing range.
Oh, I went. It's terrifying. I was like, it's one of y'all. If y'all go crazy and turn around and try to shoot me with one of these
loved it.
rifles,
It's
I'm
loud.
gonna go crazy. It's too loud. Even with the
can't.
headphones on, I'm like,
It's not for me.
Not for me.
But we see him passing all of these, like, people practicing and then the targets, which, again, to me is weird, especially we've had some scandals where, you know, it's just blatant picture of, like, a random black guy, and you're like, it feels vaguely racist.
Yeah. Vaguely.
I know this poster was going to be really important, so we put it up and it was a German Shepherd. I was like, this is grand. This is so good.
The donkey treat too. So.
Yeah, which you get 8 points for shooting, which I thought was hilarious. I'm like, what is that doing for anybody? I thought it was poignant that they made it a police dog. And then just to watch people's faces melt as this poster just retreats back and they're like, you can't shoot a dog. Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's try.
Talk about
Like,
it.
there's so
many
much.
layers there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I think on a basic level, I'm glad they just address, like, obviously there's a race component, but even in fiction, people pine so much more for dead animals than they do for dead people.
It's an old Hollywood trope to, like,
yeah,
we'll throw a
Lassie.
dog in there
Right.
and it'll be the boy's best friend and then we're going to kill him. We're gonna all the tears.
For sure. So even just starting with that level of, like, it's messed up that, like, for so long in fiction or even in any representation of reality, it hurts so much more when we see animals die than people.
I mean, just put it into your own perspectives. Think about the, like, Sarah McLachlan animal shelter commercials. See, they know this. Wow, guys. It's happening. As opposed to, I don't know, like the starving children in Africa, which
I know.
That's that too. No.
it is sad, but to what degree? I feel like people were so much more upset about
know.
these, like, animal commercials. And that's just, like, it is what it is, but it's just how people feel, and I think it's valid that, you know, some people just care more about animals than they do about people.
Personally, like, I had a friend who used to say that, and she just said, like, she just hates people because people, like, humans are evil. And she feels like because animals can't speak, animals aren't like us, that, you know, she has, like, more sympathy towards animals. I don't know. I'm just like,
I've heard the exact same
Yeah,
argument.
I'm just
no
like,
judgment. Do
okay.
you?
Well-
But what I will judge on is the fact that people were freaking out about him shooting a poster of a dog.
Yeah.
Shout out to Darius, simply because, you know, this guy, even when he's himself, he's making everyone question, you know, their norms. You know what I mean? And he's not even trying. He's being himself. He's like,
Truly.
why would I shoot a person? That's a person. I'm going to shoot an animal because that's lesser value, right?
Oh, this
It's
was
just funny
right.
because his complete unawareness of how people would
I know.
take it
I
is
love
what
it,
made
though.
that. No, I love
Yeah.
it too. It made that scene hilarious because I'm like, he just has no idea.
Well, it was so
he's
funny.
thinking so logically.
Yeah.
Well, plus, like, they're like, why would you shoot a dog? They can't do anything. He goes, the dogs from my neighborhood are crazy.
yeah.
You know,
But
they'd be
they
biting
could-
And he
babies
said,
and stuff.
I could have had my son in here. He could have saw you shooting this dog.
But
like,
you shooting people.
You shooting people?
He said the other guy said that. Oh, we got to talk about that too.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh no,
introduce it.
no.
You want me? Okay. So then we have a Middle Eastern gentleman come in, and he.
was he Middle Eastern?
I assumed.
I thought he was Latino.
I thought he was Latino because he said
too.
like that
Oh, I
you
thought
were
he was
shooting
Middle
a. He's
Eastern.
because he was saying you
I
were
thought he was
shooting
Middle
a.
Eastern as well.
Yeah, 'cause
he
it was
said
like-
you were shooting a Mexican guy, but I don't know.
I think he was because he was making like I got like the vibe of like I don't yeah like and then like I was getting like I don't even
Yeah.
want to say what I was
See,
thinking, but
here's-
like
No, no,
I just
no.
was getting certain vibes.
I'll
Yeah.
take it. I think that he was, you know, if anyone's got it worse than black people, it's Middle Eastern people
Okay,
who
there we
people
go.
perceive as being Muslim.
Hey, there we
And
go.
so I got from
Slash
him,
terrorists.
like,
Yeah.
if you think
know
that
what?
they're
Makes
terrorists,
sense.
then,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So that's what he's saying. He's like, we need a revolution here, like, we're going to paint the streets with blood. And, of course, Darius is like,
And even Darius got uncomfortable, which
He's
kind of
like,
just shows
I didn't
everybody's
even
just
say
kind of
all
like,
that.
Yeah.
everybody's working on stereotypes in that scene.
yeah, it was a mix
Yeah.
of intersectionality
Yeah.
in there. This white guy being so offended that you would shoot a dog while he's shooting at a person.
Right.
It's not a real dog. It's not a life image of a dog. It is an outline
Right.
poster
Right.
of a dog.
Right.
The fact that you're more concerned about what your kid might see that. And then, of course, when the owner comes back with shotgun to Darius,
Yeah.
like he
Oh,
caused the
everybody
I
commotion.
was
Scene.
so nervous in that scene. Honestly, like I love Darius, but I was like, please don't tell me he's going
I
to get
know.
killed off in this episode because
No,
I
don't.
felt so real. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, no, not Darius. But yeah, I was so nervous.
Came in with
But
his
you-
gun out and went
Yeah.
straight. There was the Middle Eastern guy, the black guy, and the white guy, and he goes straight to the black guy.
In
Yeah.
the center. And what I found most interesting, like so far the show has really showed us that like guns are not a thing. Like as far as something like as a strong northerner, guns to me, if they show up in the situation, if I see them in a holster, like I wouldn't say triggered is the wrong word, but I'm aware. I'm aware. Whereas in the South, and particularly for these guys in Atlanta, it doesn't seem to be a thing. Like we have Earn last episode waking up staring down the barrel of a gun that was just sitting on the coffee table. In episode 1 or 2, they're cleaning their guns. Like
Yeah.
guns are everywhere, so it's clearly not a problem for Darius because he doesn't stumble or stutter. He does assume the position of like, okay,
I'm
we're
out.
cool, but he stops and goes like, you still have my ID. Can I get my poster
Right.
back?
And can I get my poster
Like
back?
this is not the first time a gun has been in Darius's face. It's
Yeah.
clearly not that big of a concern for him, which I think is accurate and the real lives of people. And I'm glad that
Or black men
shown.
in Atlanta, period.
yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, black men everywhere. Yeah. Oh, go
for
ahead.
those of you who are watching, I want you to comment on this story in particular because we could talk for an hour about this scene.
yeah.
Like there's so many. There's two. It's almost like a sketch. Like it played out almost like a weird comedy sketch, but like it was so like the whole show. It's so open ended. Like I almost feel like how do you even begin to dissect this scene? Like I really let us know what you thought of this storyline in the comments in particular because
Shout out to our commenters in general. They're
Yeah.
pretty
Yes.
interactive.
Yeah,
they're
beautiful.
Really, keep commenting.
Keep
guys.
it coming.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
love you. So that was this episode. It might be my favorite just because of how many different stories we got into. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't even get to touch on the fact, like, as much as Janice can burn in hell, she also had, like, this great stuff, like, as a woman, and I'm getting older, it's harder for me to survive in this business. It's changing from a structural point, from, a technological point, and then to be an older woman trying to survive in an industry where you're selling, essentially the image of people.
Especially
Right.
entertainment.
Yeah.
And I had somebody tell me that the other day too, which is crazy. You like somebody, I won't say the name.
Very smart.
Was like, you know what? You probably should think about doing something other than entertainment because when you get older, they're probably not gonna want you to like be the face of entertainment news. I was like, you know?
You have to play it smart the older you get. Like,
And that's just like even like people say like Nicki Minaj, she's not gonna look that great when she gets older because nobody wants to see her old and rapping. I'm like, but you got other like old men rapping and they still sell the image. So it's
definitely
such.
I mean, Busta Rhymes is still out here, and he did not keep his figure or his amazing hair.
Yeah.
So don't worry about Nick.
You go, Nicki Minaj. You do it until you 60
But I've heard
because
people
I'll
say
watch.
that too. Like this is the apex of Beyonce because she's
Yeah.
35, and they're like, it's all downhill from here. And I'm like, Tina Turner rocked it until she was like in her 70s. So
Yeah.
maybe sit down.
If
Don't
Usher
ever be in my
if
presence.
Usher can still Millie Rock and do all that,
Talk
I feel
about
like
black
they're-
hearts being the limit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, sit down. Rap about you have children, sir. Anyway, come
on.
a whole other
Double
time.
standard. Okay.
Let's get into predictions for
Oh my
next
goodness.
week.
Predictions.
Yes, thank you for our music. We don't have to do the music. We're good. Predictions for next week. What do you guys got?
Van,
Nothing.
We don't have a predictions bumper for BHL.
No, we're good. We're
We're
rolling.
good. Predictions. I can never do predictions on this show
I know.
because they're just like so we just said open ended. So
Van better
nothing.
make a reappearance.
Only
That's all
for
I
Jeff.
gotta
No,
say.
Van better make an appearance
know.
for Jeff.
She better
Because
she better be the main character in this
Yeah.
So
episode.
if the writers or
Writers,
anybody's
alright.
watching, please put Van in there for
Yeah,
Jeff.
for Jeff, yeah.
He's been looking for her
He always
every
asks
week.
her where she at.
Since the day episode, he's been asking like, "Where's Van? I wonder where Van's
He said,
at."
"Where Bay at?"
Where's Van at?
no.
Oh wait.
Just
my
got
bad.
a girl at home. Y'all just
Oh, my
slow
bad.
it down.
I'm joking, guys. Yeah,
me
no,
too.
I said that. There we go.
No.
All right, cool.
I think I want to see. I have a feeling that we're gonna see, at least as the season goes on, a division, some kind of wall grow between Earn and Paperboy.
I know.
Because right now I just am having trouble reading them. And like I want there to be some. I want them to either forge ahead or like butt heads.
Yeah.
Because I think right now I'm having trouble reading what they're, which is fine. We're still so early in the season, but I kind of want to see. I want to see some conflict between those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
some juice.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm hoping we see some follow up on those business cards. I'm really excited to see what because he's such an instinct person, and they've been just trying to get to a place where they can start. But it feels like he's got some traction now, and I feel like we could really see him take off, and we could see some of that hustle if he's in the right rooms, if he's talking to the right people, if opportunities present themselves to him. And I want to see how he handles that, because I have a feeling it might have been pressure to succeed that knocked him out of, like, got him to leave school. And I want to see how he handles that, and also hopefully we get closer to why he did leave school. Why?
Hopefully.
Stop predicting about that. I want answers, damn it. Okay, well, this has been lovely and super exciting. Tell the internet where they can find you guys.
You can find me at Ray Taylor Gang or on Instagram, because that's where I really be at. Rhelin Taryn. And yeah, take it away, Jeff.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Jeffrey C. Graham. See you there.
Follow me on Twitter at DeAnJilo TV. Follow me at DeAnJilo on Instagram. I'm on both, so hit me up.
Hey guys, I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique. But follow me this Thursday when I'll be at CAA for the HBO premiere of Westworld. I'll be doing the panel afterwards. I'm going to try to do some live tweeting, some snapping. So hopefully I'll see you there. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.